If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name is Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. All right, Fearless Flippers, I've got a real treat for you today. Corey Griffin from Savannah, Georgia. Corey is a young real estate investor like myself, but he's been doing it for a lot longer than me, and I've got a special place in my heart for Corey, not just because of the guy that he is, but also because he's the one that got me started in real estate investing. Sure, I heard things from guys like Grant Cardone, from all these different, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, a lot of different places of sources that really encouraged me to look at real estate. But when it came down getting face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, Corey was the guy that really challenged the norm for me. So I wouldn't be wearing this mic. I wouldn't be in front of this studio right now if it wasn't for Corey. So I've just got a lot of excitement for you and what you're going to learn from Corey today and who he is. Let's check it out. Corey Griffin, all the way from Savannah, Georgia. He doesn't have the accent, but he's got that Southern flair. So we're excited to have you on the call here, Corey. Thanks for joining us, man. We got to jump right into it with our Fearless 5 questions. So number one, right off the top, what is the most interesting real estate story that you have for our listeners?
Ooh, I'm excited to be on this podcast. Down here in Savannah, Georgia, where you can get all the seafood you want. And some southern dishes as well. Probably one of the craziest real estate stories that I have is just doing real estate across the country. So living in San Francisco and flipping houses all the way here in Savannah, Georgia, before I moved back down here to the town that I grew up in. And I would say one of my biggest craziest stories is just like, for one, like I said, marketing and getting leads and having boots on the ground down here in Savannah, having my mom go out and, kind of role reversal, teach her how to essentially flip a house and buy it and sell it and all that kind of stuff. But when she started making offers, she made an offer on this property. And not only did it come with the property, not only was the property like the perfect first flip for her because it was super simple, easy renovation, which I always advise for anybody is to jump onto those easy ones, is that it came with a car. So that was like an eye opener to me where I was like, whoa, like people really not only need our help, but, the lady was in a nursing home and she just was ready to just sell her house. Her family was ready to sell it and everything. So, not only do you get houses, but you can get cars and other cool things. I just got a buddy. He picked up a place and he got a car. He got a truck and he loves refurbishing things. So I think that was probably the craziest, story. Yeah, I'd say that was probably the craziest real estate story.
I'll take a free car anytime. You still have that thing or did you sell it?
We sold it. So it was profit. I actually just allowed my father to just grab it and take it and do what he needed to do with it. And it was fun. It was a cool experience, to kind of see him refurbish the car while we were in the middle of refurbishing the house. It was kind of cool. So.
There you go. Let him do his thing while you do yours. I like it. What's your favorite part about real estate investing, Corey?
Providing opportunity for others. It used to be freedom. Freedom's cool. I think freedom is important, but I realized that when you have like responsibility and you're creating, jobs and providing opportunities for other people, like the freedom comes with being able to have resources to help other people. So I think that's the biggest thing, like having some people who want to jump into the real estate game, maybe join my team and start learning how to sell, learning how to talk to sellers and buyers and different things like that, just seeing how they grow from, maybe starting out at putting out signs for us to ending up locking up 7 to 8 unit properties, Next question is, what is your favorite way to market? Consistency, man. I think that's my favorite marketing piece is consistency. So whatever you do, just do it consistent. So like if you're doing cold calling, just do it consistent. If you're putting out bandit signs, do it consistent. If you're doing direct mail, do it consistent. Marketing depends on the area. So if you're in San Francisco, I'd say cold calling would probably be my favorite thing. If I'm down in Savannah, Georgia, then bandit signs and cold calling.
Absolutely. So the next question for you is, did you go to college? I know you started real estate investing at a young age. Did you go to college? And if so, what did you study?
Yeah, I went to school for a little bit. Right after high school, one of my best friends, him and his father own a funeral home down here in Savannah. So I was like, hey, let me just go ahead and skip this whole like job interview thing and just go ahead and lock in with these guys. And so I went to school for mortuary science, and I was going to just kind of work in the funeral home directory, all that kind of stuff. And then I went to it was a technical school called Ogeechee Tech, and I actually just drove by there today, pick up my car. My car was all messed up. But yeah, no, I left after like a little bit of that and moved to San Francisco. My dad asked me to start a cleaning service with him. So, well, he had already started it, but he had asked me to come out and run it with him. And so I took that opportunity and ran with it. No, I didn't finish college or didn't go to like I went to a technical school. So technically it wasn't a quote unquote college. So no, I didn't go to college.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what's awesome about real estate investing is I feel like a lot of people didn't go that route. I feel like that's a route that most people, especially millennials like you and I these days, are seeing as it's not necessarily necessary. So that leads me into your story. And I think you've got a really cool one of, just kind of take us through your real estate story. How did you get started? And I really want to focus on how you're partnering up with some people that are very close to you. So let's hear it, man.
Yeah, like just like anybody that wants to get in real estate, I'm pretty sure a lot of times people want to get in real estate because of the freedom, the lifestyle, different things like that. And that's why I got started. I was just telling you, before we jumped into this, like one of the biggest reasons why I had a lot of clues in my life, and I think that's important to pay attention to things. And so when I was in high school, I had a teacher that asked me, hey, like, what do you want to do when you get out of this and all that kind of stuff? And I was like, sell real estate. So I went to go get my license and I failed that test a couple of times. And I just decided to go into the mortuary science stuff with my friend and his father. And I actually didn't finish that. So I would also like just when I moved to San Francisco, my dad asked me to come out work with him in the cleaning business and stuff. When I moved out there, I always had like this thing where I wanted to get into real estate, but I was a little afraid because, the average price point in San Francisco is like, it was pretty cheap, like $1 million and whatnot. So I was like, man, like, how am I going to like, just like anybody, you think you got to have the money in your bank account. And so that's like how I kind of like had the urge to get started. But a few books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, like a lot of people here, things like that inspired me to kind of get into real estate. And I ended up at these seminars, these 3-day, paying I paid $1,000 to go to some 3-day seminar and ended up, getting mentorship, getting some help. And that's really how I got started. And it started with me. And then over time, I actually I met a girl and her name is Monica. And we were able to not just see each other as, hey, let's date, but let's become business partners. She had an interest in real estate. And so we started to do that in the Bay Area while me, her, and my father were actually running a cleaning service together in San Francisco. So cleaning buildings at night, trying to put out signs in the day and, not just cleaning them, but running a business and trying to run a business or whatnot. Learning a lot about that. But yeah, so got started in the Bay Area, put out a bunch of signs. I have a really, really good friend in the Bay Area named Jimmy too, who kind of took me under his wing, and every lead I got, he would like I'd send it to him, and he would look at it, and finally a deal came off of one of our signs. And that was like just like anybody, you got to get to that social proof. You got to get to that check, get to that money. I think it's very, very important with real estate, because it just proves that it works. And after that, working with Jimmy and kind of like getting that deal, I really like, it was just an eye opener. But my second deal was probably my hardest one. And I would just throw all these excuses out there, like, I got to spend all this money in the Bay Area. It's competition. It's hard to do. But in reality, like, I just had shiny object syndrome, and I had like 7 businesses. And I wasn't doing what I needed to do with real estate. None of my businesses were making money. So that's really like how I got into real estate. And then transitioning, I got a sales job. I started work. I said, and I think this is an important part. Anybody that is in real estate, you got to understand, like, you're not dealing with houses. You're not dealing with assets. Like, that's the byproduct. What you're dealing with is people. You're dealing with humans. And so I realized, like, I really need to learn sales. And, Jim Rohn talks about it. Grant Cardone talks about it. All these people influenced me to be like, look, get a sales job. So I decided to do that. I did that for like 3 years. And in that time, while I had a sales job, I was investing in real estate heavily. And instead of me complaining about the area being so crappy and how I couldn't find deals, I was put like this. I was competing with Chinese cash buyers, not to throw like a race out there or anything like that, but there was a certain time in America when there was a flux of money that was coming into these major cities like San Francisco, and I'd put offers in and due to, looking at my numbers, my deal analysis and everything, I'd be getting outbid like $120,000, $150,000. And I'm like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. So, but I kept making offers and whatnot. And so I finally decided, me and Monica decided, like, let's just invest down south in Savannah, because my mom was like, look, I'm tired of waiting tables. She loved it, but she was just like getting to an age where she's like, this is not what I want to do to retire. And I said, look, I've always wanted to invest in Savannah. I think Savannah is a beautiful city. It's where I'm from. And it's cheap, and I said, so whenever you're ready, blah, blah, blah. And she kind of like, my mom is just a beast. And she just ran with it. And I started marketing down there and just teaching her and everything. And that really like got me open to investing out of state, where I'm like, hey, let me just take, I know I can make 150 grand on a property here in the Bay Area, but let me just take a step back, not make it about me. And I also, like, Kyle knows me pretty well, as far as like, I really wanted to build a business, not just flip a house. So I seen Savannah as an opportunity to do that. And now I'm at a point where, it's me, my mother, and Monica. My mom's name's Kathy, and Monica. And we're building a business. My mom focuses on one aspect of the business. I focus on another aspect. Well, a lot of aspects, but mainly the sales side of things, which, hindsight, right? Getting a sales job worked out, because now I can focus on bringing revenue to the company, training, and things like that. And Monica focuses on not just dispositions, but also transactions and things. And so, getting mentorship, even after getting mentorship, has helped me get to a point where, got my cold caller on deck, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be at. I'm still new. I'm still learning, and, just trying to get it to the point where I can retire my mom, where she doesn't have to go, which is really close, where she doesn't have to go to work. Like, we closed on a wholesale deal, and, it wasn't a whole bunch of money, but she was like, look, like, what I just received, through our splits and all that, just paid my mortgage, just paid a mortgage payment, not her whole mortgage, but paid a mortgage payment. So I might not be able to throw a big check at her and say, hey, or pay your mortgage off. But, doing this business is, I realized in the beginning, I did it for me. I got into real estate for myself. But what I realized is that, hey, like, it's not just for me. Like, this is something that I can actually, whether it's directly real estate related, or just financially with some things, or time, all these different things. So it's a big opportunity for myself and anybody that wants to get involved in real estate to be able to give back in many different ways. It's a beautiful business.
Corey, there's so many backup questions I have for that, because you just not only gave so much value, but you piqued my interest on so many different levels. And so, what we're going to talk about in the next episode is really how to, from Corey's perspective, how to build a business when you're not even living in the same state, let alone the same city. So, if you want to check that out, make sure you tune into the next episode. But that right there, I think, is going to give so many people so much value and information. But the biggest thing I want to talk about and focus on right now is mom and girlfriend. Holy cow. Working close with them. Has it, we're not going to turn this into a marital counseling thing, but I really do want to know, like, has that strengthened the relationship? Has that, challenged the relationship, especially with, this someone being, it sounds like someone you might potentially end up marrying. I want to hear from mom's perspective, from maybe the future wife's perspective. Talk to me about working closely with them.
Yeah. So she's definitely a future wife. There's no like ifs, ands. We're engaged. So I say girlfriend, but we're engaged. Like, we just been together for a minute. So I just sometimes throw that out there, but yeah, no, it's not, I don't want to say it's like hard. It's definitely like being in a relationship and building a business it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, if you can really do it, like, honestly, as a man, I don't know, as a man, I just feel like the last thing I want to do is have somebody else tell my fiance what to do. So the fact that she can get up in the morning and make a decision like, hey, my back is killing me today. Like, I'm having these back problems, right? I'm going to stay home and work from home. Because we have an office, right? We have an office not at home, but we also have an office downtown. So like if she had a job, then at the end of the day, I would feel sorry for her back, but she'd have to go to work because she has to make bread, or whatever. If she had to go to work, unless you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna pay for everything. But we're partners in this, and so we work together. I think it helps a lot. I mean, we get to spend more time together. We get to know each other a lot more. Like, I traveled for a living for a good 4 years. And when I decided to say, hey, I don't want to be on the road as much anymore and travel with the sales thing, which I love doing, she was so ecstatic. She was like, I'm looking forward to living with you again and things like that. So I look at it as a super positive to be able to work with any kind of family. Some people don't. They're like, I don't really like working with my family. I can't do it. But like, my mom would be working for somebody else. My fiance would be working for somebody else. I would be working for somebody else if we didn't have the mindset and we are able to, work with each other. I'm not the easiest to work with. I'm pretty intense with certain things, and I'm an A-type personality. So I like, things to go a certain way, but you just got to know how to balance it out and listen. And as a leader, know how to listen to people and just know that you're not always right. Like, there's brilliance in the room. Monica is super brilliant. My mom, Kathy, is super brilliant. So understanding that and allowing them to have their roles, like, Monica has her, department. I have my department. We still kind of cross paths, but at the same time, like, you let people, if you decide to be in partnership with them, it's the same thing. I don't have kids right now, but I can imagine it's probably like that. Like, you gotta trust that person is going to be the best mother, because that's why you picked that person. So the same thing with our business. Our business is a little baby. I got to believe that my partners are going to be able to take care of that. And that brings less stress, less argument, and things like that.
It sounds like that could be an entire training on its own. But what I do know is there's probably one Fearless Flipper listener out there who's been trying to get their wife on board and is probably nudging their wife right now saying, honey, listen. So I'm really excited that you guys have found a system and a way to be able to work together and do life together with that same vision. I mean, that's definitely a lot of people's dreams out there. So that's awesome.
I'd like to comment on that too. Like, if somebody has somebody that is, a part of their life, you do not have to do this business with them. At the end of the day, I think what's more important than doing a business with somebody is supporting that person, right? Supporting the person. Like, I wouldn't push my significant other to do something with me if they did not want to do it. I'm blessed because of the fact that she wants to do real estate, and she wanted to do real estate before she met me. But like, if you have somebody and they have a career and you have a career and they're not too into the real estate game, like, just have the conversation that this is something that you're going to do, and that at the end of the day, like, you would love their support, so that when you do have some late nights and you have some early mornings and things don't go the way they're supposed to go, which things are not all rainbow and cupcakes, right? And Skittles falling from the sky, they are right there for you. And they're like, hey, I understand. And I think that is important for anybody listening, because here's what's going to really happen. When you start making checks in real estate, a lot of times spouses start supporting you even heavier. They might get involved in the business in some type of way. You know, it just happens that way. But in the beginning, I would say just do you, but at the same time, like, communicate with your significant other, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'd love for your support. And if that person loves you and all that, you ain't doing nothing to put them in danger, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, I think everyone can hear your heart as you're sharing here. I think everyone can hear that you love helping people. And I think everyone too can benefit from what you said earlier with that, you know, real estate is not an asset business, it's a people business. And that was one thing that really my eyes were open to when I went to a seminar just similar to the one that you're talking about, is the amount of people that you can help just by getting one house under contract. Can you just kind of talk about that for a second and how that fulfills you knowing that you're helping others out?
Man, it is crazy. Like, when I first got started in this business, I guess self-centered. Everybody's a little self-centered. Like, I was focused on me. Like, let me make this little $5,000, not little. Let me make this $5,000. Let me make this $3,000. Let me do this. Let me do this. And I realized, like, after a few deals, how many people I was actually helping in the transaction. Like, I haven't done a bunch of rehabs this year. We got we just been focused on wholesaling. It's been great. I would like to rehab, but everybody keeps buying my deals. So I just sell it to them.
That's a good problem to have.
And yeah. And so, like, when I was doing a couple rehabs last year, we had like 5 of them going on at one time. And I remember my contractor was just like, you know, he was like, man, like, keep them coming. He was so excited because his crew was eating. The title, we deal with attorneys here in Georgia. So, like, the attorney's office was like, look, like, these people talking about us, they are going to bring us more income. So, like, they treat us a little, I don't want to say different, but like they're more receptive to some of the solutions that we try to create for some of these sellers. I literally had a guy last year. He inherited a house. I locked it up a little higher than I probably should have and put out there, and I think I made $125. Like, at the end of the day, he sold the house. The buyer got a property that he could rent out. I'm not telling everybody go out there and like make $125, but at the end of the day, like, if you really, like, my company name is Savannah Home Solutions. Probably can't really see it, but Savannah Home Solutions, like, we are a solution company. So if we can go out there and help somebody with their problem with this house, you know, we can't help everybody, but if we can, we will do everything we can to do that. We've helped people where we've had older people that have reached out to us that have been taken advantage of, rent not being paid and things like that. We've given them guidance and influenced them to maybe, like, kick those people out, you know, because their heart was so nice and they let people stay in their house for 5-6 months and we're like, for free, you know, and you're just kind of like, hey, like, what can we do to help you move forward? Because you're being taken advantage of. And we've helped people in that realm. And then not only like that, but, you know, when you hand somebody a $20,000, $30,000 check after a rehab, and they can't even fathom making that in their bank accounts because of the fact that, you know, our beautiful, beautiful banking system gives us like the best interest out there, you know, 0.12% and stuff like that. So whatever, like, the point is like, you're helping lenders, you're helping contractors, you're helping agents. I didn't even mention agents. Like, my agent, she got this side, and even as a wholesaler, like, our business, our wholesale department, like, there's buyers that meet with me that are just so thankful because they tell me all the time, it's so competitive out there. I can't find a deal. And it's not that it's competitive. That's just not what they focus on, so they're relying on people like us, wholesalers, people that can actually get in the nitty gritty, talk to the sellers, help those sellers realize that, hey, this is the best time to sell. And be able to provide a product to our end buyers, like, that's huge. Everybody wins. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot, man. It's a lot of different people. And then my family, right? The dinners, the Christmas stuff, all that, kind of adds to it. So it's great.
Win. There's a lot of people winning in that.
It's a lot of wins, man.
It's awesome. That's so awesome, Corey. And we can all hear how much you love helping everyone win. And what I want to do right now is help our listeners win even more than they already have just by listening to you. How can our viewers and listeners go ahead and connect with you?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram. My Instagram's public. I don't have like a private Instagram. Probably should, but I am Corey Griffin. IAM COREY GRIFFIN. Family Guy, Boy Meets World, all that kind of stuff. If you want to remember it in a different kind of way, but that'd probably be the best way. Facebook has limits. I hear it all the time. I'm not really into limits. So, but I'm on there. If you hit me up, I haven't reached my friend limit. It's Corey Griffin. I thought about it. I think it's Corey G Basic Green. I don't know. Corey Lee Griffin. If you type that in, you'll see my face. Corey Lee Griffin on Facebook. But those are the two ways. Or you come to Savannah, hit me up. You can find me on Bigger Pockets. I'm not really like active on there. Should be. But if you reach out to me, I'll definitely get in touch with any of you. And if you come to Savannah, I'm a really, really good tour guide.
There you go. I like it, Corey. And not to mention all the great value that you've provided today, but I am excited for our next episode when we really dig in deep about helping people who maybe aren't in that premier location to run this business, how they can do it in a different city, different state, different location right there from their phone. So I'm excited for that. Corey, thank you so much for just joining us today. Any last words for our viewers?
No, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to be on here. Anybody that's like thinking about getting into real estate and you're just a little bit afraid of like jumping all in, I'd say do it. Just jump all in. That doesn't mean quit your job, but just like start tomorrow. Start right now. Like you already started. Just keep moving forward. I know it's a lot of information. That's why Kyle, actually put this platform together so that people like yourself, like me, can actually learn from others and be obsessed with it.
That is the perfect way to end the show. As I always say, it's your time to conquer real estate investing. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Corey. Like I said, you can hear Corey's heart. He's got a huge one, and he's got an incredible story there. Make sure to check out the next episode as we start to learn from Corey how you build a business when you don't even live in the same city, how you get boots on the ground in that area. It's going to be a really good one. So make sure to check out the show notes for that one and for this one that you just watched and listened to at www.fearlessflipping.com/Corey Griffin. That's COREYGRIFFIN. Fearless Flippers, you know the word. Conquer real estate investing. We'll see ya.